Sagittarius, welcome to your February reading here at the Astroflower. We're going to be going into your chakras, your aura, and also doing a tarot reading at the end of this. I will be splitting these videos into two sections, into an energy section and also into the tarot section, simply because they're very long videos and apparently people want them to be shorter. That's what I've been told. So, yeah, tell me what you think in the description below, in the comments below. Yeah, right, let's just jump straight in here. Let's see what's going on with your chakras here for February. Have you seen the collective reading? Because, hang on a second. It's very set, the root chakra. That's the root chakra there, and it's very set, even on both sides. It's probably one of the most even chakras I've seen, Pisces being the other one. But on the relationship side, it seems to be focusing on one or two things at the moment. So that'd be interesting to see what happens there in the tarot cards. But yeah, so which is a little bit strange for you, Sagittarius, because we're moving into, we're going to be moving during this month into your spring period. And that's, you know, you're going to get the dance of spring inside you. So that's the sort of energy that will be flowing through. And to have these root chakras fixed like that, maybe you're a little bit stuck in this month. Let's just see what's going on. Let's see what you're going on your sacrum. Here is, okay. Yeah, it's not too much of an imbalance, but there is a slight imbalance between the two in regards to sort of your pleasures and your administration, your work and your stuff like that. It's not too bad, actually. It's pretty good harmonious sort of situation going on there. It could be just that life is cool. That could well be it. You know, that could well explain the root chakra as well. Let's just see what's going on in your solar plexus. I think every sign has been getting this. There seems to be an amalgamation or sort of fusing of the solar plexus and the heart chakra at the moment. You've got a similar sort of thing going on to other earth signs mainly, but it's definitely fusing between the two. There is something at the base as well. The rest of it is pretty well defined. I think there is a desire to be socially active, but there is a bit of frustration within you at the moment, and that's a real rooted frustration. It could be a case of kind of, I wish I did this in my life, you know, when I was younger, or I wish I had the money to do this. There is a certain frustration that is building up into your solar plexus. Now, obviously, if they're fusing with the heart, that's where that frustration can come out as anger and stuff like that. So there is a little bit of a work to be done there, I think, Sagittarius. And I'm sorry to say this, but everybody's had it. Everybody's had that work ethic and sort of positioning and everything like that in this month because of what's happening in the beginning of March. So don't shy away from it, because it's got to happen whether you like it or not. So the quicker you can get it done, the quicker you're out the way, and then you can go and play. Yeah, I've had kids, obviously. Yes, I've had kids. So I'm not saying you're a kid at all. Well, you could be. I am a bit of a kid. So, you know, there's that frustration. Let's just go into that frustration and see what it's about. And it's missed opportunities is the biggest thing. There's loads of different aspects of, because obviously this is a general reading. So this could be to do with a frustration, to do with a relationship as well, as much as it could be to do missing that job or that career path or the stuff like that. It seems to be that a little bit too reflective at the moment. Sagittarius, look to the forward, start building a better forward. If you can't see what to build, it's very simple. You just put one foot in front of the other, and before you know it, you'll know exactly the evident path that is in before you. Let's just go in through the heart here. yes, there is a desire for social interaction. There is no doubt about that. And the heart is nicely full, certainly on the exterior part, which we noticed in the collective reading. There is a separation between the here and now and the inside of us. So there is a lot of emotions building up on the inside of you at this month. I think communication would be key here. So if you are going to socialize, make sure you also at the same time talk about situations, listen to the other person as much as listen to yourself. You know, there's many aspects to be had on this. Let's just see what's going on in your third eye and your throat chakra. I think that's the missing key here, and I think that's what's causing the frustration, is a lack of communication. This could be a lack of communication from a partner or colleagues at work or the environment that is around you. It seems like there's something that's brewing up in you that you need to communicate with the people concerned with the situation. The best advice I can give you on that is to take away the words of judgment. Now, the words of judgment are very simple. In the English language, I think there's only 3, which is I, you, and me. So basically, we speak with us and we. So it's the way we park cars makes our lives difficult. You know, once you include everybody in the situation, realizing that there's no judgment going on here, it's just a situation that needs to be dealt with, then the other person then can contribute to that solution. And, you know, they're not under pressure to find the solution by themselves either, because a solution found together is so much stronger than a solution that is imposed upon another. So that's that. I think that would help you to open up the conversation that is in around you. Let's just see what's going on the crown chakra. That's also getting a bit laden, a bit heavy at the moment. I want to see what and that heaviness is a lot of thinking. It's a lot of overthinking here going on for you, Sagittarius, this month. It's a reflection month. It is that transition between your winter and your spring, so it does provoke a little bit of that. But I want to see what's going on in the fusion between the solar plexus and the heart chakra. I personally think it's got something to do with the pole shift that we're going through at the moment. I go a lot into that on Cymatic TV and etc., which is our sister channel. I think this is what's causing a confusion within society as well. That's a subject for another day. There's not actually a specific message for you. I think this is a mechanical thing because I've seen it on everybody at the moment. And it could be moments of waves of change that are coming through us, basically. Okay, so there you go. I would, for your chakra side of your energy, concentrate on the things that you need to communicate. And I would go through the sort of things in the morning. And when the opportunity arises, how your guides help you out to put the situation in so you can have that conversation. Once you finish that meditation, that putting into place the needs, don't forget that soap bubble there that sort of goes down to your toes and goes. I'm going to get that sound effect really nice. And it pops at your toes. So it's just like energy hygiene in a way. It just keeps your energy on a constant flow rather than a fluctuant one. Fluctuant flows can be very productive, but they can also be very destructive. You've got to be in the right frame of mind in order for it to be used properly. Okay, let's just go into the aura. Let's see what's going on here. You're getting this as well, like a lot of people. I've seen this now, I think, certainly on 3 signs in this formation. But I've noticed there's also a change in the aura on other signs as well, which seems to be this situation which is growing within them. So it's a transitional sort of thing. It's almost like another layer is being created within your aura, within the inside of it. So if you imagine, it's like you're putting a ball down a sock, so it's creating a little bulge or a little lip around your aura. I need to do an investigation on that, and I'll try and do a video on that. the changing energies of the pole shift, basically, of the human energies. So that seems to be going into place. And this is why we come back to this month here, which is all about positioning, putting yourself in a place that really does suit you, basically, of how you are going forward, so you can express that inner truth that is within you. Once you start doing that, all of a sudden, your energies are going to fall into line, and even the fluctuating energies, even those imbalance energies, are going to be in balance, because it's a good thing. It's like when you go round the corner in your car, you get that slight imbalance where you get leaned across, so you lean into the corner slightly to compensate. And this is how your energy helps you to get round the corners of life. You know, it's not a straight road. Don't believe that. So things are going to put into extremes at some point. You're going to need to brake. You're going to need to accelerate. And this is where the changing chakras, once you realize how to do this, you can emphasize those changes when they're beneficial and reduce them when they're a bit more sort of destructive. Okay. So yeah, there you go. Let's just get into your tarots now. Here is the overall energy for the week, for the month. Sorry, do apologise. Get out your head and into your heart. This is where the overall energy is really trying to extract that bit of frustration that was in the solar plexus, and that slight build-up. I don't know if I said this actually. In the centre of the heart, there is a slight build-up of emotions as well. And that, I think that's tied into that sort of a solar plexus sort of situation. Yeah, difficulties after happiness after difficulties. I think this is where it's sort of saying this is something that needs to be dealt with. Hang on a second, let me just show you that. There's that sort of fence there, and then that's that sort of bulge, if you like, that is on your solar plexus. And it's, if you deal with it as it comes up and talk to the people, and don't forget to take away the judgment and find the solutions, the collective solutions together, you're going to find yourself in a very, very happy place. And when it kicks off in March, in the beginning of March, you're going to be, I think you're one of the signs that's not the best prepared. I don't think it's that, although you could well be, but it's, you've got this configuration of energy or this rhythm within you that's very conducive to this start in March. And you could come flying out the gun. You could be the hare in the race between the hare and the tortoise, although the hare and the tortoise always arrive at the end at the same time. Go figure. So let's just get on to, so that's what it's all about. The overall energies here is sort of saying, yes, got to deal with it, but there is happiness at the end of it. Let's just see what's going on with your karmic message within your relationship side. I'm going to see what's going on the financial side, because it's tied to that communication. I think communication is ideal on both sides, and maybe that ties into the frustration within your solar plexus. I got a funny feeling the solar plexus frustration is more on your relationship side than on your material side. There's a definite definition between the two. On this side here, it's sort of saying, yeah, communicate, sit down, have tea, talk to the people who are concerned with the situation. I think, yeah, it's okay. So we went into the collective, and there was a certain learning curve on how energy influences your emotions, and I think this is part of that learning curve that you need to get into on your side. You need to understand the thing about the Hierophant is a teacher, so they've gone through that sort of learning process, that learning process, which is body, mind, and soul, or God, child, and Holy Spirit sort of thing. You've got that pyramidal sort of shape to it, of a learning process. That the Hierophant there is actually, those steps there are the steps that the Hierophant needs to do in order to get to their desires, and he's happy to do that work. He's in a very, in a beautiful position because he knows how it works. And this is what I think the karmic message for you in regards to the relationship side this week is saying to you, you've got to try things out. You've got to learn how to communicate or interact energetically, physically, spiritually with the people who are concerned by the situations within your life. On the financial side, we've got a different type of communication, and it's a different mindset for your communication. So there's a definite separation between the two worlds at the moment. On your financial side, it's much more of a case of, I'm imposing my view upon the world around me. This is what the business needs to do, sort of scenario. This is how we do it. That's a rap song, isn't it? Yeah, it's just going, it's imposing not imposing your view, but it is in a way. It's not in a horrible way. That's what I want to say. It's not imposing your will like a dictator would do, but it's imposing your will as sort of saying, because you know you're right. If if you have situations which you don't fully understand and you don't fully have the confidence to air your vision or your concerns about the situation within your financial world, I would listen. And this is part and parcel, which gives you the weight to then impose your point of view. And I think it would work really well within business, within projects, within your job and stuff like that. Look at those two together. Are you joking me? That is a really powerful combination. Look at them. There's stillness, there's contemplation within the Temperance card, there's patience, there's knowing when to strike. On the Hierophant side, there's happiness, there's a process in order to get to your dreams and aspirations. The Temperance card is all about patience, and there is a degree of patience here within your work side, but there is also a case of after patience comes action. So the Temperance card is all about learning of how to strike, basically, simply because they've got the world, the earth, the sun that's pushing them on. So that's what that daily energy is pushing you on to go there, to go towards that happiness after difficulty. And you've got the subtlety of the unknown that is the moon. So it's the judgment between the unknown and what you know, how you act in the future. And this is what I mean about sort of imposing your point of view, that listening is also a very important aspect to that. Okay, let's just see. So we're going to go 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and 4 weeks. Let's just see what's going on the first week within your relationship side. This is where we meet the frustration of the solar plexus. So I would be wary about your digestive system as well this week here. And it's frustration in the sense that things aren't moving along as quickly as possible. You might feel that sensation of being stuck, worried about speaking to someone because you don't want to hurt them, or worried about speaking to them because you're worried about sort of opening up too much to another person. But whatever it is, there's a little bit of frustration. 5 of Cups, don't worry about it. Everybody has had it. Everybody has had the 5 of Cups. So there is a certain... Almost, I think there's disappointment, and this runs true with all the 5 of Cups that I've seen in a way. The 5 of Cups has got to do with disappointment about oneself. Not necessarily the disappointment in the world outside. There is a certain degree of the disappointment outside, but I think it comes from the inaction that we do with the world outside. So we're not interacting. We haven't been interacting like we should be. And I think this is a realization more than anything else within us as individuals, and it goes into the collective. Let's just see what's going on your financial sort of side. You've worked hard, I think, Sagittarius. You should be in a good position. Like, you should be, even if you haven't got a job or anything like that. You've obviously done what needs to be done in order to start work and stuff like that. And it's now the opportunities are out there. Call to action. That's coming in there. So there is a case to be said here that you've done the work, and it's almost as if like you've got too many things come in, and it's a little bit like standing on sort of, moving sand in a way, or sinking sand in a way. And sinking sand is very simple. You just move your feet gradually from side to side, and each time you allow the sand to go underneath, and you step to get out. And as you get out that sinking sand, that's when you sort of lay down and crawl back out of the hole. So it's gradual movements here, but it's a call to a mission. It's kind of saying, I've now got to get out of this sand and start moving on. And this is what I talk about with this sensation of feeling a little bit trapped. This also goes into the retrospective, that you may be looking back a little bit too much over your relationship sides, and a little bit too hard on yourself. When we get things wrong, we learn. And, if you're not going to accept the understanding when you get things wrong, you're only going to repeat it. So, and this is where that disappointment could be coming in, I can't believe I was so stupid. That sort of scenario. Let's go into the second week. Let's see what's going on there. There's decisions to be made, and it tends to be, I think, to do with the collective of how you position yourself with other people, as individuals, but also as a group. So it could be for the family and the friends, community that is around you. There is this repositioning that is going on, which I was talking about. And yeah, there's, I think there is a slight procrastination upon yourself. If we take the example over here, the quicksand, on the financial side, there is no other choice but just to get out that sinking sand and get moving on. And I think this replicates within your relationship side. It's a case here that the Seven of Cups can be procrastination. You're overthinking things, which I said in the chakra reading. You're overthinking things. Once you simplify the thing, it's going to be so obvious. And I said, if you don't know which way to go, just put one foot in front of the other. Once you start moving in any direction, you're going to realize that that's not the direction that I want to go in, and you can then change it and adjust it accordingly. And this needs to happen, I think, in the second week here. I think this is where the frustration will come to its full, and you do need to speak to people around you to resolve that emotional sort of situation, really, more than anything else. Okay, so I think the pressure is building up in week 2 in order for you to do that. Let's just see what's going on your financial sort of side. Carrying a lot. And I think this is that whole aspect of imposing your point of view. You're going to carry a lot, and I think that's what's carrying that weight as well within your crown chakra and the third eye. It's carrying in regards to your business, and this is the difficulty. This is part of that difficulty to be overcome in order to get to the happiness. The abundance. This is what I was saying earlier on, that it seems like you've got a lot of things coming in. You've done a lot of work. You've got this abundance. But let's replace that sort of sinking sand. Well, let's imagine you've got a pile of pennies, a pile of, pounds or whatever it is, coins. And as you walk on those coins, you sink slightly into them, into these pentacles. You've got a lot of pentacles. You've got 2 tens going on here in this section here. And I think this is a realization that you're trying to carry everything, but there's a lot of resources that are around you that should be used. So you can spread that stress, spread that weight across not only your shoulders, but the shoulders of the world around you. And it could be working smart on the technological sort of thing. So if you're trying to push, if you've got a business and you're trying to push a product, it may be working differently with the social medias and stuff like that in order to get your product seen and heard out in the world, as it were. Okay? I would still impose your view. And I think that imposition is about that positioning in regards to going on through March, and those big changes that are coming in, I think, where it's going to be connecting the financial, political, religious side, the material side of all of that, to respect and the interaction between you and your neighbor, not you and the World Bank. It's you and your neighbor. The World Bank and people like that, massive companies, they're almost going to fade away like the noise of something as you drive away. It's just going to gradually be in the background, and I think it's going to have that sort of mass organization is going to have less and less consequences upon the running everyday life of people. That's what it seems like within the changes. It's a natural process that the humans generally go through. We went from an imperial system where we had the king and queen in the UK. We still have that, obviously, but they don't run the place anymore in certain ways. We moved on to a parliamentary system. And then we now need to move on from a parliamentary system into a forum system. And that's what seems to be happening within the human race. And it's good to see you're going to be part of it. Let's just see what's going on the third week on your relationships. This is like a safety valve, like a valve that's being released. There's pressure. It's that solar plexus that's being released there. Look at that. If that's not what the solar plexus is releasing, look at that. There's a multitude of things. It's like all those cups at the 7 of cups there. We've gone 5, 7, 9. Look at that. That is beautiful harmonics. Because 2 is a choice between, that's logic. Yeah. 4 is a construction. So all the elements equally balance. So it doesn't move. 6 is the harmony between the triangle at the top and the triangle at the bottom. That's that yin and yang factor. 2, 4, 6 is very rigid sort of scenarios. 5, 7, 9 or 3, 5, 7, 9 is absolutely, it's to do with movement. And that's what you're going to be getting here. There seems to be a movement from at the beginning of the month going backwards. Now we're looking forward. And all of a sudden, it's going to open up a vista of joy and happiness. That's when the 10 of cups is coming through. So we got the 5, 7, 9, 10 of cups. It's absolutely, it's a really good vision for you, Sagittarius. Let's have a look what's going on the financial sort of side in the third week, on the jobs and the businesses and stuff like that. There's breakthroughs here. I think this is that call to mission is people are starting to recognize the call to mission that you're on around you. Using that intuition, that inner vision. I think this is where the communication comes in. You're going to have to explain your inner vision and help people to put things into place within your work area. So it's explaining what you want out of life to your boss, or it could be communicating to your customers for your business of how you vision, give your ethos to your company. Give that a bit of a push across the internet and stuff like that, so people understand where you're coming from. It's a real opening up of a new vista for you at the end of February and in the third week of February. And as we move into the last week of February, now this is just before what starts happening in March. Let's see what's going on the relationship side. There's definite, all of a sudden, I think it's going to allow you to love again in a very relaxed way, without any pressure. It's very loving sort of scenario. Yeah, the Queen of Hearts, the Queen of Swords. It's the only regal one we've got here, otherwise, apart from the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords, going through patience, going through happiness after difficulty, brings you on to the Queen of Swords, which gives you a clear vision for your heart. You've done that work on that heart now, and it can't really be touched in a way that it can't be damaged. You don't have to worry about, your emotions. You can just go ahead and live life and interact with other people and have a most beautiful relationship side. You're gonna be that person that's giving the direction to everything. Let's just see what's going on in your financial side. There's a step up here. There seems to be contracts or something that you're winning something. Could be you winning in the lottery, but it seems to be you're winning something. I think this is like a milestone. It's not the end of that call to mission, but I think it's a milestone on that. Oh, Seven of Swords. I think you might have, with that way in which you can do that imposition, and I think you may well have people that are sort of fighting, pushing back against your vision of things. And that's all about, the Seven of Swords is all about sort of, there's lying, cheating, scheming. There is an aspect of that. And I think it's more to do like the Seven of Wands, when you've got someone who's trying to burst your bubble in a way, who's a little bit jealous of how you're progressing and how you've got control over the situation. And the thing is, playing smart in this moment here is using that intuition and that sort of joyous energy that you have to disarm those people before they can actually use those arms against you. I think this is a case of positioning yourself so when they come at you, you can almost kind of go, I understand what you're saying. That's why I thought we could do that. Therefore, you could do that. That's really good for you. You can progress within that part of your career and everything like that. It's almost deflecting the person, but it's also helping you in a way because it's going to progress your vision to the forward. It's involving everybody that is around you. Absolutely lovely reading for you, Sagittarius. That's building up to that change in March, and you've got to be ready for it. So when it happens, you'll be already in your stride, I think. And this is what the positioning is all about. So there you go, Sagittarius. Thank you very much for being with us here on this channel and supporting this channel, liking it. If you share this, this reading across all multimedias, all sort of social medias, that would really help us out. There's nothing better than word of mouth as the way of help. We try our best here. We think we're trying to, contribute to a collective vision of a brighter future. And if you want that collective brighter future, it's better that everybody gets onto a similar sort of page. So sharing this about would really help us out. In the meantime, Sagittarius, don't forget, life should be fun. So please do enjoy.